I thought we got a lot of good things done this past weekend. Number one was in recruiting. We took Friday and all our coaches went out in state and went to high school games. I thought that was very beneficial for us. Something we'll do again this Friday. Something that you always try to do, like even when we went to North Carolina, that Friday night we had some coaches go out and see some student athletes and work on recruiting there. So that worked out good. As far as the game went, I was really happy with the way our defense played. It was fun to watch the video. They were very physical. They ran full speed to the ball. They did a good job on assignments. You know, that offense always challenges you to do your assignments, and they did a good job with that. And they prepared and put it all in 4 days of practice, which was good to see. And something we spent any time working on that style of offense. So they learned quick. And Dorian had a really good game for us. He was running around, very physical, he's very tough. We got a lot of young guys in, used a lot of defensive linemen. I also thought Gigi had one of his best games. I was really excited to see how physical he played. So it was a good deal for them. Offensively, we got the ball in a lot of different guys' hands. Lamar was threw the ball for a very high percentage. Didn't like the fact that we had interceptions. One of them certainly wasn't his fault. It went right through the hands. But the other one was a bad decision, bad throw really. The decision was right, it just wasn't a good throw. But I thought he played well, I thought he executed. It's frustrating when you sit there and you don't have the ball very many plays. I think in the first half we had 31 snaps, ended up 57 for the game. So we didn't, it was a really slowed down pace that they played. But I thought our guys did a good job keeping their poise. What it did do is take reps away from our younger guys on offense. But when Puma came in, he did a nice job. He really showed that he can throw the ball. I was really happy with his confidence and the fact that when he saw something, he believed it. Made a couple checks out there. Did a good job distributing the football, getting it in the right places. I thought Colin Wilson did a nice job. Colin Wilson. Running with the ball and being physical, also showed that he can catch it. I think that's one of the things that really shows up in our offense more this year than in the past few years is our ability to throw the ball to our running backs. Malik gets catches, Reggie gets catches, Colin comes in and gets catches, and it also shows the patience at quarterback to be able to check the ball down. So that was good to see. After the game, we had a lot of fun in the locker room with the Cancer Alliance kids. I was very proud of our players. They all had a good time doing it, took some of their own personal time, and put smiles on young guys' face. So that was really exciting to see and meant a lot to our players. They always enjoy doing that. I thought it was great for our program, so that was very, very good. Let's open up for questions.
Bobby, how do you think this stretch will help this team when you get back into ACC play?
Yeah, the practice has to really help us. How hard we're practicing, how physical we're practicing, our timing. We've got to see we have to have a really good week of practice this week, and with a short week next week to play on Thursday night. I think it's really important that this is a great week of practice. I thought last week was very beneficial to us in the practice because it was also very, very hot. And I'm very proud of our training staff and, coming to us early in the week and saying, hey, we need to get back to camp mode. We've got to start hydrating right. We put a really good plan together for our players. We didn't have anybody cramp up during the game the other day or, any IVs. So that was very impressive. Kyle Johnson and his staff did a great job. So I thought that'll help us. That'll pay off that, we had to practice real hot temperature and had to play in it.
When you play a team like NC State, I guess coming out of it and looking at what they did at Florida State, how much does that kind of affect your outlook for the ACC in terms of how competitive it is?
It's competitive, yeah. NC State's been very good. We've had some great battles with them. Last year we got ahead of them early, and that helped us. But it's all the same guys. You watch them play, it's all the same guys we've been playing. All the same defensive line, all the same linebackers. So they're a very good football team.
What made Gigi so effective? What stood out about his performance?
I think he's doing a nice job using his hands and shooting his hips. You know, he was more physical than some of their old linemen, so that helped him too. But he's playing at a higher tempo and a faster pace. And, you know, it's something that you learn to do as a young guy. You learn how to play faster, get to your technique quicker than the guys that are trying to block you.
You said you wanted to play Russ East a lot Saturday. You did. You get to play him a lot. What did you like that you saw out of him? Were you pleased with him?
Yeah, he did a good job, but he wasn't challenged. You know, they didn't really throw the ball, but when they did throw the ball, we had really good coverage. You know, one thing about Russ is he's a good defender, but he's also very tough and a very, very good tackler. So, you know, I think we'll get more looks this week when they come out in the passing game that they run. Will challenge our secondary more.
You gave him an opportunity to run punch back in the second half. He did, I guess, well on one, but not on another one. He just kind of assess.
Yeah, the learning of the punt returners, you know. You know, I thought he did a really nice job on that return. I think he had a 13-yard return, had a really close chance to breaking it. And then the second one, he got lost. You know, when you're lined up there, you should line up on the 10-yard line, heels on the 10, don't back up. Is what you're taught. And, you know, his inexperience showed up there. He just didn't know where he was at on the field. So that's something that I think's really been hurting us. Something that I'm not very happy with is our punt return team. Obviously, we've lost Jair, but when you look at even the Clemson game, the field position has really killed us. Starting inside the 10 as many times as we have, this might be the record in any season I've had that many times in 4 games.
Are you surprised at how Dorian's progressed so quickly, or what's your opinion?
I think he's surprised about it. Yeah, I was telling someone the other day that he's still kind of surprised that he's doing all this, playing this much and everything, but not really. You know, when you watched him in high school, he was really a good football player, and then when you went and visited him at the high school, he was very mature. He had to travel a long way every day to go to school and back home. You know, the hours were really hard, so he showed his maturity and his drive to be a really good player. He just has great instincts, feel for the game, and he's smart. You know, he's able to learn in the classroom and carry it over to the field, which sometimes for newcomers and freshmen that's hard to do, but he's very, very intelligent as far as a football player goes.
There's a lot of attention this weekend on the national anthem protests, sort of thing. You discuss that with your players, and do you have any objections?
Well, we're not out on the field with the national anthem, so we wouldn't have that issue come up. But yes, I have. You know, I talked to our players last night about it. It's certainly something that's in our sport and is a national story. So what I told them was that I would always stand for the national anthem, because when I think of the national anthem, I'm picturing us beating the Redcoats, winning World War I, or, you know, I was fortunate enough to be able to go coach the Pro Bowl over in Hawaii, so I picture being there and being at Pearl Harbor and the Japanese attack. So everything that I picture when it comes to the national anthem is about somebody out there fighting for us and allowing me to have the freedom to be a football coach. And then I also told them that the greatest thing about the United States of America is you have the freedom of choice. So if your decision is to kneel, that's your decision. The NFL players that are out there kneeling, they're doing it, you know, because number one, Colin Kaepernick, and number two, because now the president said don't do it. And we all know that once you tell a young guy don't do something, they're going to do it more. You know, so he needs to learn his, you know, the psychology. You know, you would tell them to kneel and they wouldn't. But you know, I just wanted our players to really be aware of it. You know, I also get real upset that our president is out there tweeting. You know, because I think that he's in a position where he can really help our country and do a lot of good things. And there's a lot more things more important than tweeting about football and basketball and those things. So I just wanted our players to understand my point of view. Then I also read them some comments from some of the NFL players and Coach Tomlin and why he chose to keep the Steelers in the locker room. Because that's really true. A lot of the things he said about, some people aren't lucky enough to be a football player and to be able to have relationships and be a family with young men that are from, different races, different religions, different ethnicity. I mean, it's like all of us are just come all together and now we become a family and we experience everything. But not everybody gets to do that. So I thought, our players needed to hear it, needed to understand what my thoughts were, and then they needed to spend some time thinking about it and understanding, where are we right now with our culture. So if it wasn't involved with football, I wouldn't have brought it up to them. But because they play this sport, and this is a big deal nationally, I thought I should speak to them about it.
Are you ever on the field at away games when they're
No,
So-
yeah.
sort of a moot point, except like you said, distance spending?
Yeah, the only team that I know that plays the national anthem at their home games is Pittsburgh. And then when you travel there, you have a choice whether you want to be out there for it or stay in the locker room like you usually do. If you go out, it's like 7 minutes before kickoff, so now you're out there in the sun standing around for a long time. So I think they took it off of college, because you used to do it, college football. I think TV took it off, so they go to breaks instead of watching you play the national anthem.
When you talked about, what you think of with the anthem being the war heroes and the like, did any of your players say, that's not what I think of? Because that seems to be kind of the crux of the issue here.
Yeah, I think that they're, certainly that's not what they think of. Everyone thinks of something different. I just wanted them to know what I pictured. And, I can remember in high school basketball when they used to, play the national anthem. You pictured yourself being an NFL or NBA player, because you get to stand during the national anthem, because that's how it was. So, I think you have to respect the fact that in the United States of America you have a choice, and it's just one of the things that you choose to kneel during it. That's your choice.
Given the discussion about that, do you give any thought to having your team out on the field this week?
For the national anthem, I haven't given it any thought.
Back to football. You talked early in the year about,
Squirrel.
no, I was gonna bring squirrel up. You talked early in the year about not knowing when you're gonna redshirt guys and letting that process play out. Are you ever surprised when you look and you have so many young guys out on the field? Because I think you're up to like 11 this year.
Yeah, not really, because of how it's changed, They get to come here now in the summer, and they work out with our guys, and they spend, 2 months here to get into their comfort zone, We used to bring them in 3 days before the vets got here and get to coach them up for 3 days, and then basically when they got here, you kind of put them aside and said, okay, we'll see you in winter, You didn't have many freshmen play, but now because of they're here and they're training and they get used to it and they're in much better condition, they're able to do it. Colin Wilson's a guy that wasn't here all summer. He's very, very talented. He's going to be a really good player. Not in the best shape right now, and I think we saw that out there in the game the other day. But he can really play. So I've been excited how well he's picked things up and how he's learned quick.
You mentioned Cole Bentley going through the concussion protocol. Is that a standard set amount of time, or does it vary by severity? Like, how long
Yeah,
does
it's
that
a
usually?
whole standard thing that you have to go through. How many days you're without symptoms, then a workout and symptomless, and then no contact with no symptoms. And then there's also a test thrown in there that you have to do well at. To be honest with you, I don't really know everything about it, because basically as a coach, what you do is it's out of my hands and it's into the trainer and the doctor's hands, and whatever they say goes.
Have you received any extra reports since Saturday on any of the injured guys, Jalen?
No, I usually meet with Kyle after this.
Will you be any more cautious with them, knowing that you have the game this weekend and a short weekend and a big game next Thursday night?
Yeah, I think what you do is you try to get them prepared to play this week. You know, I think that's the thing that you always work hard to do, is get them prepared to play the game that you're going to play and see where you're at. But again, a lot of that is decided by the training staff and the doctors.
What's your reaction to the NC State instead of Florida State, Tallahassee thing? That surprised a lot of people, probably. How about
Yeah,
you?
I mean, it doesn't really surprise me because NC State's really good. They're a good football team, and Florida State's playing with a true freshman quarterback, which is always a challenge. So I knew it would probably be a close game.
What's, CJ Avery got a lot of snaps as well. How did you feel like CJ played?
I thought he did good, and I thought he learned a lot as the game went on. You know, he came to the sideline one time, and I talked to him about going and sprinting full speed. And, you know, he was cruising a little bit, and then you saw him do that, make tackles behind the line of scrimmage. And, you know, he's a real physical player. He's tough, and you know, we got him in some positions where he could go inside out to the football and make tackles. So I was real happy with the way he played. He'll continue to get a lot of reps for us.
Anything else?
Stacy Thomas will be back this week. You said one game.
Yeah, he'll be back.